7 billion. Yes, that's billion with a B. $7 billion will be spent by Americans this year on just this one thing. What is it? Let's pause while you think about your answer. Okay, time's up. Did you guess buying clothes? Did you guess buying pharmaceuticals for your health? Did you guess cosmetic surgery? Or did you guess travel? If you guessed any of those that I just mentioned, you would be wrong. Americans will spend $7 billion this year alone on buying products that are labeled gluten-free. And that's because 1 out of 133 people will be diagnosed with celiac disease, the most serious and life-threatening form of gluten intolerance. That statistic does not include the millions of others that have gluten intolerance or are gluten sensitive or have another specialized form of the gluten allergy. Celiac disease is one of the fastest growing health concerns, and the problem can be contributed to the amount of products that contain gluten. This photo shows the difference between a healthy small intestine and one that's been affected by celiac disease. So I'm going to pass it around for you all to take a look at. So, what is gluten? In a nutshell, gluten is a protein composite found in foods processed from wheat and related grain species, including rye and barley. According to The Balance You Need, the problem started and became very prevalent when manufacturers found out that by adding more gluten, they could get a larger product for less money. Celiac disease is one of the hardest diseases to diagnose and is oftentimes confused with anemia and IBS, among other things. All of this is not news to me. Recently, I have been diagnosed with gluten intolerance and have gone on a gluten-free diet. In becoming educated by doing research on the issue, I found that many products contain unnecessary gluten. These products include, but are certainly not limited to, all types of food, medications, cosmetics, toiletries, and even, can you believe it, the paste on the envelopes that you lick. Now someone tell me, please, why does that have gluten in it? Because to be honest, it really doesn't need gluten. So, as you can see, you're consuming a ton of gluten every day. The solution to combating its rapid rise is to make a dramatic lifestyle change by consuming less gluten. We need to go back to the way our grandmothers used to eat. For instance, when Grandma wanted a gratin potatoes, she didn't pour them out of a box and open a cheesy powdered envelope. She peeled, cooked, and sliced potatoes and prepared her own sauce. Bread was oftentimes made at home, not bought in a store. Vegetables were usually fresh, containing less salt and additives. And most meals weren't made from convenience, which includes adding unnecessary gluten. For example, some brands of frozen grilled chicken breast strips contain this gluten additive. Health should be considered before the profitability of your bottom line. This alone is not going to solve our problem. Other solutions include lobbying politicians, and we need to start reading our product labels more carefully. First, we need to lobby our politicians in order to make them aware of this growing epidemic and have them put pressures on manufacturers, as well as getting the FDA on board. We need to follow the same steps that were taken in order to get saturated fats removed from processed foods. If the FDA and manufacturers become passionate about this epidemic, we can hope to limit the number of products that will contain the unnecessary gluten that we consume on a regular basis. The third solution is to start reading labels, so you're educated as to how many of the products you actually consume on a daily basis contain gluten. And you're looking for other ingredients besides the word gluten, such as wheat, barley, and malt. But there are a lot of other names for these hidden gluten. So you should be looking at labels for indicators that products are gluten-free. For example, Chex has gluten-free products, and they have this nice little large gluten-free banner right here to indicate that they're gluten-free. However, not all products make it that easy. Some products you really have to search to find a gluten-free banner. Most products actually don't even have one listed. If we are successful in doing everything I've just mentioned, we will lessen the number of celiacs and gluten-sensitive people in the future. In closing, I have been forced to become more aware of this epidemic because of my condition. And with a little effort on your part, we can work together to make positive changes in order to limit our gluten intake. So, I challenge each one of you to go home and read an article about celiac disease. There's a wealth of knowledge right at your fingertips. Thank you.